is going on, air signs? Welcome to your daily love reading. This is Venus Archangel here. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're unsure of your placements, go ahead and check the description box below. Also, guys, please remember that these readings may not resonate with everybody. And welcome to Leo season. I know I didn't say it when we actually went into Leo season. It was like Monday. It was like 20th to 23rd. I pre-recorded a lot of these readings. So yeah, I mean, welcome, guys. Anyway, all right. You'll hear it from me again tomorrow as well, because hey, you know what, is the beginning of Leo season, and now we gotta celebrate. All right, guys, you know what to do. Pick your sides as always. Let's get into this. All right. Ooh. What is going on, air signs? Air signs. What? Wheel of Fortune. So second time around, somebody's reconnected from the past. Ooh, recommitting from the past, or a recommitment of the past of some sort. Something in regards to commitment, or something regarding an age difference. Because look at what we have here, the Knight, and then we have the King of Wands. The King of Wands and King of Swords, excuse me. King of Swords, Knight of Swords. These two, let's just start with the King of Swords for a second, okay? Now, the King of Swords, especially in this relationship, it does indicate that there is a bit of detachedness, I think. Or maybe there is just a lot of there's a lot of truth here, because this individual feels the same way about this individual, meaning they are fighting for the truth, or they have clarity in their own truth, and they're fighting for their own individual truths. That could be it, right? This person feels like there's a soulmate connection between this individual, perhaps because the two truths intertwine. Now, the King of Swords is very solid, and he's usually an older gentleman in some ways, or they're just indicating a really mature individual or something like that. So it doesn't have to be a man, it doesn't have to be a woman, it literally just indicates a mature person. Now, this here is immaturity. This person is young. This person is usually the teenager, or someone that's usually very young, okay? It doesn't have to be a young adult, potentially. Now, these two age differences here does indicate, kind of, set off alarm bells to me when I saw the Hierophant, because it's talked about another time around with an individual potentially that has an age difference with you, and you have the same ideals. Now, the ideals may be different because one may approach it a different way, but it doesn't mean that you guys don't have similarities, because the ultimate thing, the thing that's putting you guys together, is this King of Swords. Now, air signs, this doesn't necessarily mean, though, that these are air signs that you guys are connecting with. This has to be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If this is a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius that you're dealing with, and it is what it is, but none of these signs have to be, these signs that I say, because of what they represent. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the internal energies. Wow. Somebody's fighting for what they believe in, but they're working very hard and working very diligently on themselves. Internally, they're doing internal work right now, okay? And I feel like it has a lot to do with them catching up to this. Now, the maturity is within the relationship. These individuals feel the same way about each other, or feel the same way. Like, they obviously feel the same way about each other, right? Perhaps each of you guys feel like you guys are immature in some way. This person works very diligently, very hard, and is very focused on what they're doing, internal work, internal things like that. This individual, in a way, is somewhat immature as well, but not in a sense that this person, I don't think, it's very interesting. I feel like they all have youthful energies. They act in very mature ways, because the King of Swords the Knight of Swords rather, is very, very serious for his age, but he is young and he's youthful in the way he moves, how fast he propels forward, and how quick he is to get into arguments and defend his truth without getting a whole lot of information first, because he's not really filled with information as the King of Swords is, where he's mastered everything. He'll get information on it first, and then he can just argue you down, and any point that you come up with is pretty much destroyed. That's why this card represents Aquarius, okay? And I don't know if you've ever had an argument with an Aquarius. I know I've had, and it doesn't work out, because you know what? They will find loopholes in every argument you have. So this one has a little bit more holes, some more wonky holes, and I don't think each person has the same capacity of communicating, but I do think that these intellectuals, or these people, very intellectual, both parties are very smart, but they also have a way of communicating with each other that's unique. It's a very checkmatey kind of card. It's like nobody wins, nobody loses with this individual. So let's go and take a look at the internal energies for this, Two of Cups energies. Somebody's doing some internal work, though, internal travel. This is internal This is internal transition as well, guys. So this person is working very diligently internally with themselves, and this person is working very hard and very focused on themselves. This person is leaving behind something that wasn't really working out for them, but they're finding a place or moving into a place within themselves that provides them with more opportunities, gives them more space to be able to manifest, to be more prosperous. Okay. And if this is how they feel, literally they're doing the same thing, honestly. Both are not, this one's a little bit, a little more difficult. This one isn't. This one's more focused and diligent. So it's all depending on the individual. Wow. Let's take a look at the King of Swords internal energies. King of Swords with the internal energies. King of Swords with the internal energies. The Seven of Wands. Okay, so both parties are very defensive. Okay. Very defensive. It makes sense with the combative energy from one person, and then this person saying, I feel the same way too. They're combative about what their truth is with each other. Like they have some sort of set truth. It's very interesting. It's like these individuals are very, very, I don't know, I don't want to say standoffish with each other. But they have their own truths. They have their own morals. They have their own ways of thinking, and like they're going through work to make things, I don't know, I don't think they're making things work for the relationship. I think they're making it work for themselves. They're just being very absolute with themselves. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more information here with this reading, y'all. See if we can get some more information regarding this. Wow. Well, this person is definitely doing something regarding the connection, because you have the Lovers coming up here for them. Wow. They were focusing on building something because of love. They're fighting for love, but the way they're doing it is by focusing on themselves and developing internally. They're doing the internal work. Okay? Don't judge a book by its cover. Even though the King of Swords can be very intimidating externally, but he's very, very, there's something about him. He always will give. He always will help, as long as you're honest. As long as you're upfront. And the defensive energy has a lot to do with the, protecting something, protection, right? What are you protecting? What are you fending off? What are you trying to fend off, to protect, right? And I think individually, these people are both doing the exact same thing, but they have their own perspective of how it's being done. I don't want to say everybody's judging each other, but everybody's focusing on themselves, and the way they do it is their own different way. One may do it a practical way, one may do it mentally and through their own means of internal ways, right? They may do it internally, but everybody has their own way of finding themselves. And I feel like their truth, the way they do it is the way they do it, as long as they come to the core, which is love, right? And this is what this individual is fighting for. Let's take a look what this other person is fighting for. I think this person is fighting for love too, but we'll see what's going on. This is also a soulmate connection. You have two cards in here that already symbolize soulmate connection. Let's see what's happening. What's going on with the external energy for the person with the Two of Cups? I saw that Ace of Cups. It tried to come out, but it didn't. The Seven of Cups. Alright, so Seven of Cups, Seven of Wands. Already. We have two sevens in here, and let's see. Now this person is a bit confused. They don't necessarily know what they want. I don't think this person actually sees where they're going. They're just open to it. They're really open to it. They're just traveling. They're going wherever their heart's content, wherever it leads them. And it honestly doesn't matter to them, because honestly they're content and they're good where they are, I think, or they're fine with just finding their way through. I don't see the Seven of Cups as not much to worry, but they're uncertain of what the future holds, and they're not sure of what offers are presenting to them or what is coming up for them in the first place. To be absolutely honest, they're just open to it. They're opening to it. All right, now let's take a look at the external energies for the relationship itself. Oh wow, the Hermit energy is coming up here. Everybody is focusing on themselves, like I was saying. This is individual. Now the thing here is, considering that this is a lot of focusing on the self here with the Hermit card coming up, and then the King of Swords, it's very idealistic and very I don't want to say one-dimensional, but I want to say selfish, because the King of Swords does not think about anybody else but himself, and not in a mean way, but he makes that so that people understand that they can build their own boundaries and then still be able to communicate and work with communities and people and friends, etc. Card for Aquarius. So I do get this feeling that everybody's going through their own internal journeys and things like that to find their courage, to find what they need to protect within themselves, to build boundaries so that way they can communicate that within the relationship and build on something. But I feel like this individual is going through an internal travel right now to figure that out, because they're not sure of what they are looking for within the relationship, what they want. They have no clue of what it's, what answers they're trying to even look for. Okay, they're just almost like this person's just going through the motions. But this Two of Cups is like, it's because of the soulmate or something. I don't think it's because of the soulmate. It's nobody's fault, right? But the Two of Cups is very interesting. Two of Cups is very interesting. Very interesting here, and it's the soulmate connection. It's maybe called. It's like encouraging the transit, encouraging the change. This is a major arcana here, so this is an external aspect that's very strong, very potent for this person. So they're fighting for something that they believe, they have such strong feelings for. Obviously, the Knight of Swords has a strong belief for something anyway when he's fighting for something, and the Lovers is just an incentive to do this. So the situation is looking like that everybody's just fighting for their truth, and truth to understand it, to get clear on it, and be able to communicate it to one another. Alright, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been your daily reading, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Love you guys. Bye now.